Alright, today we're going to talk about the second Passeriformes slides. And there's three families in this PowerPoint. There's only 8 species, so it's a small group. But of course, it's building on the Passeriformes tag, which is actually a very large group. Our first family is Paradiseidae. These are the birds of paradise. We have 2 species that we are interested in here. The first is the superb bird of paradise, which is also called the greater Lophorinina. Lophorinina latipennis is a species of least concern. Its diet is primarily fruits and arthropods, and in terms of fruits, particularly different capsular types of fruits. The capsule fruit preference also extends to our other bird of paradise we're going to look at in a minute. Um, there are 3 subspecies. These are all found in New Guinea, and they're in a variety of forests that are found between 1,000 to 2,300 meters, and they are sedentary species. Our other paradiseid is Paradisea regiana. That is the Ragiana bird of paradise. It's a species of least concern that eats fruits and arthropods, and again, um, with capsular fruits, they like figs, things like that. There are 4 subspecies of the Ragiana bird of paradise, and they are all found in Papua New Guinea. This is a species of lowland forests, up to like hill forests and even lower montane forests, and gets up to about 1,500 meters, and is also sedentary. Leothrichidae, these are the laughing thrushes, a group of particularly striking birds. We have the red-billed Leothrix, Leothrix lutea, the species of least concern that eats fruits and invertebrates in equal amounts, so they don't have, like, they roughly 50-50 fruit and invert diet. There are 5 subspecies in India, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Vietnam, China, and the species is also invasive in Hawaii, found on all the major islands of Hawaii. It is a species that prefers thick forest undergrowth, forest edge, scrub, bamboo, and can also be found in abandoned cultivated lands. Is sedentary, though in some parts of the range there are some seasonal altitudinal movements. I believe that's mostly around the Himalayas. The scarlet-faced Leocicla, Leocicla rapani, is a species of least concern that eats insects, fruits, and seeds. There are 2 subspecies of the scarlet-faced Leocicla, and they are in China, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, and Vietnam. This is a species that likes ravines, open forests, and bamboo jungles, and is generally considered sedentary. The Chinese huame is Garrulax canoris, species of least concern that primarily eats insects, but it will also eat fruit, seeds, or cultivated grains such as corn. So there are 2 subspecies of Chinese huame. They are found in China, Vietnam, Laos. They're a species of shrublands and thickets. They also like bamboo, open woodlands, and tall grasses, and are sedentary. The white-crested laughing thrush, Garrulax leucolophus, a species of least concern that eats insects, spiders, berries, seeds, also small reptiles, and nectar in lower quantities. white-crested laughing thrush has 4 subspecies found in India, Nepal, Bhutan, um, China, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, and Cambodia. It's a species of broadleaf evergreen or mixed deciduous forest primarily. They will also be found in scrub, bamboo, and even abandoned cultivated lands. And they are sedentary. The blue-crowned laughing thrush, Pterorinus courtoisi, is a particularly interesting species to talk about because so far, if you've noticed, with all of these tag species, we're least concern over and over again. This is a critically endangered species from this tag. There's a few reasons for this. For one, it requires fairly tall trees for nesting, and so there are limited areas where the trees that within their range are tall enough for them to select as nesting sites, and so they like kind of like stands of tall trees. In these regions, which tend to be around human habitat, there is a problem with squirrels disrupting breeding, primarily by nest raiding. This is a species that has been traded illegally, and so trapping for illegal trade is a problem with this species. And then another problem that is very interesting to talk about is that this species essentially vanishes from its breeding range, but no one has studied where it moves to outside of the breeding range. And so what this means, of course, is that if there are any problems in the, what is it, 8 months or so, in the habitat, in the 8 months or so the bird spends outside of its breeding range, those problems can't even be addressed. So we don't know what sort of habitat it uses outside of the breeding period. We don't know how far it travels, etc. There are 2 subspecies of blue-crowned laughing thrush in Jiangxi and Yunnan. Jiangxi is a province. You can see here it's basically like 2 tiny spots in sort of northeastern China, right there. There's a species of mixed forest, and again, they like stands of fairly large, tall trees near human settlements. We know in terms of movements, again, that they do move from the breeding area, but we don't know anything about the nature of those movements. And finally, Irenidae, these are the fairy bluebirds. Just one species to talk about here, the Asian fairy bluebird, or just the tag calls it just the fairy bluebird. Arena puella. This is a species of least concern that eats fruits, flying termites, and other insects, both gleaned from leaves and caught in flight, and will raid coffee berries. There are 5 subspecies in India, basically India, and then go all the way through Southeast Asia to Java, Sumatra, and Borneo. You can find it anywhere in that general range. Species of lowland broadleaf evergreen and semi-evergreen forest. For the most part, it doesn't get this high, but there are certain parts of its range where it will get up to 1,900 meters in elevation. When you have a broad range like this, of course, there are local differences in altitudinal preferences and things like that. And this is generally sedentary, though there are some seasonal movements in southeast India. So that's all there is for this particular group. And we still have about half the tag to go over the next couple weeks. If you have any questions, reach out to me.